I just got done streaming Illusion Connect 3. Well, I got done streaming it a few hours ago, and I was going through prepping to do a video on it when I happened to cross a thread over on Reddit, multiple threads over on Reddit, actually, that left me a little bit concerned for the current state of the game and then the game's future. Now, for those of you that were unaware, this game originally released years ago, shut down, and then re-released, thus the re-attachment to the title. And while I do plan on having a full review up on my Stix Reviews channel in the next day or two, there is a very glaring issue right now that has left a lot of the community very upset. That is specifically pertaining to the gacha. That's right. People are accusing the game of being much more predatory, trying to squeeze as much money as possible out of players. The gacha itself here isn't bad. You can't see because my face cam being in the way, so let me go ahead and remove that. But the SSR for limited banner characters is 3%. For standard, it is 1.25%. The limited banner being 3% is actually pretty good, or at the very least, I thought it was pretty good. I did not, however, think that the standard being at 1.25% was very good. If you navigate on over to Reddit, this is the first thread. You'll see a lot of people upset. Honestly, though, who would spend money on this thing, a game that already EOS before? We all know this is just a cash grab before they EOS again. And you know what? That may be the case, but this in specific, it looks like the gacha is kind of rigged. The original 2% rates have been lowered down to 1.25%. That is almost halved, which is absolutely despicable, by the way. Sad, because I was really hyped to play it again, but in the current state, it's obvious that the only purpose of this game is to milk one last time from nostalgic fans. They nerfed the SSR rates from the original 2% to 1.25. Looks like the new publisher is even more dumb and greedy than the previous one. I actually didn't even know that there was a different publisher in charge. I knew they'll either reduce a pull rate or get stingier with the premium currency. Often happened on re-released games. Then this person, for whatever reason, goes on to try and defend them by stating that I could accept that they're more greedy now, but they're not, you know, Hoyoverse level of greedy. You realize they shut down in 2022 because of sales? Of course, they're going to be more greedy now to keep the game alive. But the reason that they were so popular before was because they offered players so much for so little. Now, going into it being much stingier and people knowing that everything has been drastically reduced is going to deter people from actually playing it. Then there's this comment: multiple servers for launch. From their fan page posts, from some comments, it goes up to S21 and probably more than that. But this multiple server thing is worse red flag than even Netmarble gacha games. Apparently, they're not removing the ages for the characters anymore. I remember they had them removed back when the one Vampire Girl got released. So, oh, they actually have the ages for the characters in it now. Okay, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I go for the big titty mommy characters anyway. So, what is, I think, another issue that people have is that there are so many servers. So this guy said there are 21 servers at the time of, well, it is the 7th now of June at 9 p.m. If we navigate back on over to the game and then we go ahead and return to the title screen, you'll notice that there are at present 79 servers. No, there were 79 when I started streaming this 5 hours ago. There are now 83 servers. There are new servers going up by the freaking hour. That blows my mind. So people were claiming here, so the reason why they're adding new servers is for new people to constantly roll onto, which will convince people, motivate them to spend more money, to acquire more characters. So there are numerous different methods in play here to try and motivate people to spend, to maximize how much they're spending. And then the reduced rate of unit acquisition for max rarity characters is just, any gacha game that does that, genuinely any gacha game that does that should not be played and should not be supported. Like, this isn't even a bad game. I was having fun streaming it for a few hours, but that, you don't nerf your rates. That is like one of the things you do not do. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. And then beyond that, there was the AI being used for ads, which is just like, I don't even know why you would use AI for ads. And, you know, like in the grand scheme of things, I don't really care if they use AI for ads, but like, you look at the actual characters, like you look at her, right? She actually looks hotter than the AI chick does. Like, look at that. Look, she looks terrible. She looks super hot. Like, why? What? That makes no sense why you'd use AI when the character looks better in-game than the advertising does. Seriously. Then, and that isn't even the worst issue here. It continues to get worse. They changed the type of ticket you use on Miyuki and Kiraya's banner. Before, you used to use normal, standard tickets. Now, you need to farm for a collab ticket. This is such a scummy move. Now, if you navigate back on over to the gacha, you'll see at the very top here, there are 3 types of currency. There is the red currency here, there is the purple currency right here, and then there is the blue currency right here. So now there are 3 types of currencies in game that you have to farm for, that you have to acquire. And this was apparently not the case back when it was originally released. The game came back just to go through another EOS. The mistakes are the same or worse than they were before. In the Chinese version of the re-release, there is an SP ticket. The rules of the SP banner are also different from the original version. Basically, they added a ranking system based on spending on the banner, and the player who spends the most gets the SP character. You only buy 10 tickets per SP banner rotation using diamonds. That's crazy. This version is just more greedy, and I got a ton of downvotes. So that's just because people are, for whatever reason, ardent defenders of bad practices. They'll see something that shouldn't exist, but their nostalgia goggles here will prevent them from seeing the flaws with it. And I guarantee you this video is going to get dislikes too for calling out these bad practices. But people are going to say, well, you know, blah, whatever. They're going to defend it in whatever way they can. They will justify these terrible practices in any way humanly possible. I already uninstalled the game. So many people have been saying this all across Reddit. At this point, you've got to be stupid to keep playing, right? I was gonna play again and then I uninstall after several hours after realizing the game had been resurrected for cash grabs. And you know what? For me personally, outside of the game actually being relatively fun and outside of all these horrible things that are happening and changes that have been made to the game, one thing that really deters me from playing any further is the fact that these limited banner tickets that you see up here, I have 2 left. When you go to purchase them, I have, as you can see right here, limited 2 out of 20. I can only buy 2 more because I bought 18 already, and then I bought the 20 I can get. Then you scroll down, there is another one right here, limited 20 out of 20. I can only purchase using the gems, the diamonds in-game, 40 limited pulls. That is it. That is with the gems that you can earn in-game. Everything else you need to pay for. Now, I don't know when these reset. It says 2 days for this one, 4 days for this one. So I don't know if, because the game launched a couple days ago, if it's, you know, like a set rate across the board, or if it's like it resets within 72 hours of you starting the game. But if you, and this is just based off of what I've seen here, please do correct me if I'm wrong. But based off of what I see here and everyone that had played it on stream, you are limited to a certain number of limited pulls per set period, which means you could have, God knows, 50,000 gems and be able to afford 200 limited pulls, but you can only buy the 40 here. I tried buying this just using my normal gems, and apparently you cannot convert the gems, or I could not at the very least convert the gems into these tickets from here, or just use the gems to pull. I had to go here, and I had to buy them one by one, like this, and then at a certain point, there is a finite amount, so I will inevitably run out. What the fuck kind of weird-ass predatory game is this, man? This is how you speedrun an end of service. Seriously. I don't know. Nobody seems to be happy with what they did. There are people that are still playing it, enjoying it, sure, but at the end of the day, like, this is just bad practice after bad practice, and players don't deserve it. Really, genuinely, players deserve a good, fun game, and this right here, I don't know, man, just to me, doesn't really seem very free-to-play friendly to me, but, you know, I'm sure people will defend it. Again, I do like the fact that the SSR for the limited banner is 3%. It seems as though after hitting 70 pulls, you are guaranteed the limited banner character. So I'm guessing there is a guarantee at 70 pulls, which does seem decent. But it costs 4,000 gems for a 10 pull, and I can only do, X number of 10 pulls on the limited banner per period. So I don't know. To me, this just does not seem free-to-play friendly, and the changes that were made further this point. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.